All right, guys. So we just got the, in case you haven't heard, just got the jury verdict. The trial only lasted a couple days with the Karmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf killing. For the community that I consider the black supremacist, racist, anti-white community, they immediately, without any evidence, without any facts, instantly claimed that Karmelo was innocent, and it was self-defense. This is the same community that when Kyle Rittenhouse was attacked, he was in a place he was supposed to be. He was attacked. He was armed. He didn't shoot. His first action was not to shoot his attackers. He was attacked and he fled. He retreated. He was hit with skateboards. He was hit with fists. And in the very end, he fell in a last, he had a gun pulled on him by Gage, I think his name was something, who he blew his arm half off, and rightfully so. The nurse, apparently, Gage pulled a gun on him. And in the very end, I think he ran into a parking lot, was kind of trapped, fell down, and the dude, the pedophile who had served 10 years in Arizona, was trying to take his AR-15 away from him, and he was shot dead. Now, the same people that instantly started telling you that Karmelo Anthony was innocent and it was a self-defense killing, okay, were also the same ones who were protesting for a first degree murder prosecution and jury sentence or ruling and then sentence. They and even though the victims were white, that were shot, two of them were shot by Rittenhouse, but they were, they were degenerate liberal leftists who were up doing a Black Lives Matter protest in was it Wisconsin, Minneapolis, I think it was, same place that Floyd was killed. And so, because they were protesting lighting dumpsters on fire, and Kyle Rittenhouse had traveled into town. His dad lived there to help defend a business against looting and basic, arson, Molotov cocktails and whatnot. And he had every right to be there. He had every right to be armed. And he was attacked, and he fled, unlike Karmelo Anthony, who was not supposed to be at the track meet, who brought a knife because he had brought a knife to school, was in a tent that he was not supposed to be in, with a knife that he brought to a track meet. He was asked to leave because, from what I've learned during the trial, these tents are sort of viewed as locker rooms, and that's where the kids put their stuff. And lots of times the stuff goes missing if you don't keep people out of it, like you would keep people out of a place they don't belong, that are strangers, right? And since Karmelo didn't go to the school that Austin Metcalf went to, he was asked to leave. And he said, "Make me." And he was asked to leave 13 more times. I think they said 14 times he was asked to leave. And each time it was make me, make me, make me. And finally, Austin Metcalf says, I'll make you. And Karmelo Anthony said, do it and see what happens. Or, do it and do it and see what happens. So was not where he was supposed to be, was asked to leave, refused to leave, and then tried to instigate a fight, tried to inflame the tension. He wanted to be a tough guy. He wanted to prove that he's not like some pushover black kid. He's not no slave. You know what I mean? And I think that's where a lot of this comes from. I think and so Karmelo Anthony was obviously found guilty. Now, we were told prior to this trial that Karmelo was attacked by like a group of white supremacists, big football players. They were just picking on this little guy, and he tried to leave, and he snatched him back into the tent, and they were pummeling him. It was nothing like that. In fact, one of Karmelo's only witnesses for the defense completely was impeached and fell apart under cross-examination. He said that he had been watching the whole thing. It turns out that he was looking the other way when this happened. And it also turned out that some of the kids that were in the tent that were asking Karmelo to leave were black. And so this whole notion that Metcalf was some kind of racist, his best friend testified, and when asked, started crying, and it was his best friend. Said he wanted to go find him and kill him, wanted to go Karmelo after he had done that to his best friend, but was obviously stopped by one of the coaches. And we learned that he wasn't just like some, racial attack. In fact, there were black people asking him to leave, and it had nothing to do with race. And so yesterday, the jury unanimously found that Karmelo Anthony was guilty of murdering 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. The jury has sentenced Karmelo to 35 years.
And the next contestant on The Price is Wrong is Karmelo Anthony! Anthony, you made national headlines with that courtroom drama. Now you're headed somewhere you'll really need to stay slippery. We've got a very special prize for you!
You just won a day's supply of premium baby oil. You're gonna need every drop where you're headed, baby.
I'm definitely gonna need this for what's coming next. That's right, young king. Stay moisturized. I'll give you the full rundown on how we do it. Slippery is the only way to survive in there.
Which, to me, is letting him off easy. I mean, he should, in my opinion, when you stab somebody through the heart, after you say, do it and see what happens, and, make me, and you try to instigate that person who would have no clue that you have a 5.5-inch knife in your bag that you're ready to thrust into his heart. If he touches you, that's, to me, that's like, get a rope. And I don't mean in a racial slavery sense, because I know that all the professional victims in this culture will manipulate and will distort everything you say to make you the racist. When in fact, they're the ones who, before trial, are out chanting in front of the courthouse, the only good cracka is a dead cracka. And, I was thinking about that, and I'm like, what would happen if What would happen if, let's say the roles were reversed and you had a white kid who stabbed a black kid in the chest, and you had some white people out front that were saying the only good N-word is a dead N-word, right? Now, do you think that CNN and would have covered that? Would they cover the white supremacists telling saying the N-word? Of course they would. Did you hear anything about this on anything other than like Law and Crime or any of the internet like legal YouTube channels? No. CNN wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I mean, they would play all the dumb shit that the black supremacist racists were saying. Like the black lady who said she's angry and she says, I've got 5 boys. What am I going to tell my boys from now on? To walk away?
Now it's time to watch how things got heated outside the courthouse.
What do you want us to do at this point? What? I'm lost for it. I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do.
I got 5 boys.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
I don't know what. I ain't got nothing to tell them no more. You can't walk away no more.
Stop it. Get some help.
Well, for starters, it's very simple. Don't bring a to a track meet. It makes her look goofy, uneducated, ignorant, and stupid.
You know, you sound goofy, uneducated, ignorant, and stupid. Perhaps you would want to refrain from so much chatter, my dear.
Annoyingly painful to watch. Tell your boys to hang around with good people, make good decisions, go become a productive member of society who consistently brings value.
What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do at this point? What? I'm lost for it. I don't know what to do. I got 5 boys. I don't know what. I ain't got nothing to tell them no more. You can't walk away no more.
Yeah, dumbass. That's exactly what you tell them. And why are you acting like that's bad advice? It's not like Karmelo Anthony was walking away and he was murdered, and that you no longer can tell your kids, just walk away, because Austin Metcalf just tried to walk away and he was murdered. No, he wasn't. He wasn't trying to walk away. And so that's what you tell your kids. If you're somewhere you're not supposed to be and someone asks you to leave, leave. And if they ask you to leave 13 or 14 more times, you can pick any one of those times to leave, instead of trying to say, what you going to do about it? Why don't you make me? Why don't you make me? Try it and see what happens, right? And then you had the dumbass Jasmine Crockett in her total ghetto hood rat voice saying, wasn't that just that little bitty old like knife, the one with the, the corkscrews, and she's talking about a Swiss Army knife.
She then went on to claim that the knife Karmelo Anthony used to kill Austin Metcalf wasn't really a deadly weapon.
Wait a minute, was it a switch? I don't know what he had.
It was like it seemed like it was a multi-tool, almost like a Swiss Army.
Like with like with the little scissors and everything and whatever. So it was small. Well, I would have argued the size of it alone, you wouldn't even think it's
like, that thing just so little. How you shouldn't even be able to charge with it. That shouldn't be a deadly weapon. Except he used it to kill somebody. So yeah, it would be a deadly weapon, because it was a weapon that was used on Austin Metcalf, and Austin Metcalf is dead. Dumbass. I swear to God, these people are so fucking stupid. Jasmine Crockett also was talking about like, it just had a little bitty old blade. It had a 5.5-inch blade. This is a 4.8-inch blade, not even 5 inches. So the knife that was used to kill Austin Metcalf was about 3/4 of an inch longer than this. You think that'll do it? You think you think you could slam that into somebody's heart? I mean, you could probably stab it through my entire face and it would come out the other end. Do you think that would reach in and that would slice up? Actually, I think this one's closer. This one is actually closer to 5.5 inches than this one. I think this is 6.5. So this is, but yeah, I think you could do it. And even if it was, what if it was a 3.5 inch blade? Are you what? Because things are small, they can't kill you. I mean, the seriously, the mental retardation of this community.
I mean, can we just be real about this? Like, who is? I mean, like, why are you rolling up on somebody and being like, "Get out"? Like,
Correct.
this is, to me, this is the culture that is being instigated, mostly because of like you know, y'all know how we say on the internet, "Don't let your president get you," right? Like, because people get bold. They get real bold with us right now, like, you know, and this whiteness and this replacement theory crap that they on and all of this kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, we the victims, because the fact that, you know, any kid would feel like it makes sense to walk in and see this particular kid. I mean, we've all interpreted that there was a race.
And when I say this community, believe me, I'm not talking about all black people, because I've been watching some, I think one's name is OK Ricky. I've been watching like some other black people like that were on like Instagram and all the different, you know, YouTube and Snapchat. And some of the best arguments that I made for Karmelo Anthony being found guilty and defending it and making that rational argument were done by black people. And so when I look at this has nothing to do with, now it has everything to do with race, from the racist black supremacists. I mean, it has everything to do with race. But we have to remember, this is what we really have to remember as white Americans who are under attack by a portion of the black community that are trying to excuse our murders, that are trying to give free passes to people that kill white people. And so some of these, there's a lot of black people that are absolutely intelligent. They're and when they speak, it's like I immediately do not see color. I only see color when I start seeing, it's like, the only good cracker is a dead cracker. And what am I going to tell my 5 kids? It's like, well, bitch, get a job, number one. And you won't have to worry about it. And so the jury, of course, sentenced Karmelo Anthony to 35 years. He'll be eligible for parole in half that time. I think he's incredibly lucky that he didn't get that. Outside the courthouse, supporters erupted. Fox News correspondent Brooke Taylor, I think her name is, quoted that one woman called the victim, Austin Metcalf, and his twin brother, domestic racist terrorists. I mean, that's unbelievable. Like, domestic racist terrorists, the dude who died and the other dude who held his dying twin brother in his arms, are the domestic racist terrorists, right? And so for those of you who don't know the story, or who didn't see the trial, who have lives outside of the digital world, and go to little league ball games with your kids and come home and go to work and just don't have time for all the nonsense. First of all, you're not missing much. I mean, it's pretty disgusting, the shit that's out in the real world. Now, here's the thing. Every time I meet a black person in the streets or in reality, it is always like whoa, what up, dude? It's never racial. There's never any suspicion. But I have to say that when some in your community are talking about like these idiots that were outside the courthouse, like, it's on, Whitey. And then you had one dude jumping around, he's jumping around and like some absolute psychopath.
And how it's going.
Front of a white guy's face, or white woman's face, actually. And it's just insane, seriously. But for those who don't know, a quick recap. Karmelo Anthony was under another school's tent at a track meet. He was asked 15 times to leave. He refused 15 times. Austin Metcalf approached and asked him to leave. And it was, up until that, it was make me. Austin Metcalf comes over, asks him to leave, I'll make you. And it's do it and see what happens. And this, I mean, this was made into a white versus black thing. It shouldn't have been. I guarantee you every single person who wanted Karmelo Anthony in jail would feel the exact same way if the races were reversed. We know Anthony's supporters wouldn't be consistent. If Metcalf killed Anthony, they'd be screaming to lock him up, right? The white supremacist who killed a black boy who was just asking him to leave his school's track tent, they would be demanding that Karmelo be, or that the killer of Karmelo be locked up for life. But instead, they're demanding that Karmelo be free from killing the white boy because he was acting in self-defense. Yeah, fucking right. And we as white Americans would agree with them, right? Because the issue was murder, not race. Until the black supremacist, racists made it that way, right? Just like we agreed when the recent verdict that put white defendant Mackenzie Shrilla in state prison for 15 years to life for the intentional murder of her boyfriend and his black friend, right? There were no white people out front chanting in front of the courthouse that the white girl, Mackenzie, was being racially profiled and that she shouldn't be convicted of or prosecuted for killing the black boy that was in the back of her car. There were no white people making that argument. And interestingly enough, there were no black people that were demanding that the white girl be found, be prosecuted. They didn't give a shit about him because it didn't matter. It wasn't high profile enough for them to be arguing for a black kid that was killed by a white girl, right? There just wasn't didn't have the value to them. In fact, nobody ever considered doing something so ridiculous, right? Nobody ever considered going and protesting for a white person because they because they wanted them off, right? In fact, it's so ridiculously ignorant because white Americans and the intelligent non-racists capable of being objective and reasonable, like the black Americans with principles and a moral compass, you never consider doing something as pathetic and evil and disgusting, like supporting a murderer and denying the victim and his family the justice they deserve and they're owed.
And I'm not perfect by any means. I sin just like everybody else do. Because the level of hate that I have for niggas, that alone, I feel like, I believe that it will send me straight to hell. Because it's cases like Karmelo Anthony's that really truly send me into a nigga hating frenzy. The mindset of you niggas truly need to be studied. And see, something told me not to react initially because a lot of things about this case just off the rip didn't even sound right. And one thing about our people, we are just so emotional. The best way to get us stirred up is to make it about race because we are the biggest racists. And with that, we play the victim mentality card. Something always has to happen for us to misbehave, and it's because we're black. Nothing just happens to supersede that. All the facts that we can literally just shove in your face will go literally out of the window because you were violated, because you were black. See, I truly believe that boy had all the intentions on killing somebody that day. Because here's the thing, you are a whole track star. You know how things are ran and how things go. But yet you chose to go to the opposing team's side with a backpack and a weapon. Why are you there with a backpack and a weapon? Now, these folks asked you 15 times to leave from their side and you refuse to go. Instead, you make a threat saying basically, fuck around and find out. And you mean to tell me that nothing about that was premeditated? You was ready to use whatever you had in that book bag. Even with this boy shoving you. You could have just beat his ass or stuck him, something. But no, you wanted to kill. Because you reached inside that book bag and you stuck this boy in the chest. There was too many opportunities for him to turn around and walk away from the situation. But no, he really wanted to harm someone. And all because this boy pushed you, you felt like it was an opportunity for you to kill somebody. Now you want to claim self-defense. And you dumbass niggas is sitting up here saying that a boy, a human being, was worth losing his life over a push. See, in black culture, self-control is really scarce. That we see it every day. Niggas is fighting in all types of places. Niggas fighting churches. Niggas is fighting on fairgrounds. Niggas fighting everywhere because they don't have self-control. Nothing about that situation at all is screaming self-defense. It screams intent. He wanted to do it. As usual, you niggas like to always pull that race card. What the hell does black have to do with anything? He committed a crime. And the kicker about it all, they had 6 witnesses. And 4 out of 6 of them were black and they testified against Karmelo Anthony. They said that he was the aggressor. And you don't hear no black people talking about that. And see, that's the problem. Y'all like to pick and choose shit that fit that ghetto ass rhetoric. When the facts and when the truth come out, y'all never have anything else to say. I'm sorry, but your boy is cooked. Toast. Burnt. You niggas stay looking at the end result, but never look at how we got there. If he did not go over there, sitting on the opposing team's side, y'all realize none of this would have happened. But like I said, y'all always picking and choosing whatever fits your narrative. And this is why I say black supremacy is a thing. Y'all have a thing with this whole black power shit because y'all mad that he has an all-white jury. Like, what make y'all think that if a black person was gonna be on the jury, he was gonna automatically get a pass? Cause Let Me would have been on that jury, baby. Guilty. Guilty. It's the audacity of y'all thinking that y'all own black people in every which way. To me, that is really freakishly mind-blowing. And just to put it out there as well, this just goes to show you that no matter whether, because he comes from a 2-parent household in McKinney, Texas, so this is a pretty nice area. Demons are demons. Okay, you don't have to be in the hood just to be a demon. If it's in you, it's in you. He wanted to be a demon. He performed an act, and boom, here we are. You niggas really irk me in every inch of my soul, using that as an excuse to get away with everything. You guys never ever hold yourselves accountable to nothing. And then at the same time, you have people out here in the world thinking that me, other black people are like you niggas. That shit makes me so angry. And that's why I have to pray, because I'm telling you, the hate that I have, I need to try to find some love. I need to dig deep in my soul and get on my knees and pray and find some love in my heart for you niggas, because it's just I just don't have it.
And all over something as trivial and insignificant as the skin that they share with the violent murderer. It's so ridiculous how these people are so invested in a kid being not held accountable because he's black. It's like, who fucking cares, right? This family doesn't even care or like give a shit about you. They just suckered you for the money you gave him for his defense, and they're spending that on themselves. And this little dumbass is gonna try his luck with the public defender. That's how the people from this community, not the black community again, but from the community that do this shit, the race grifters, is like, they don't even care about each other, right? You just gave this family enough money to get the best defense attorney money can buy, and what did they do? They spend it on themselves, and they put him with a public defender anyway, because fuck you and your desire to get him a representation, like fair and equal representation.
How it's going.
Like, these people like trying to defend somebody who with zero impulse control. I mean, it just sounds dumb even saying it. You know, I would be so embarrassed if I was like defending some kid who stabbed somebody in the heart, and who never was wasn't pushed, wasn't punched. This dude did not have a scratch on his body.
I'm just packing my son's track meat bag. You know, you gotta have this. It's standard. All right, and you gotta always keep a little snack on you. They get dehydrated. This will help you out. And of course, last but not least, you gotta have this in there, right? And Karmelo, isn't that what Karmelo taught us? Self-defense. I'm over here teaching my son how to catch a football. Meanwhile, this guy's teaching his son how to catch a life sentence. Y'all are so damn silly and embarrassed. Took this boy's life for no reason. Austin Metcalf and his brother, they're heroes. They seen you looking crazy and they wanted you to get out of there. They protecting their teammates from you. Why don't you just take the knife out and wave it around and show everybody the crazy nigga you are? You didn't even give Austin a chance. Well, now the detective is saying that his knife was legal to have. I don't care if he had a pencil on him. He stabbed a child in the heart. That's murder. It's illegal. And he should go to prison for life.
But he stabbed some kid to death. And you know, we're all supposed to believe that like it was self-defense. You know, it only became a race issue when Anthony raised over $1 million for murdering somebody with no evidence, right? No evidence it was self-defense, right? $1 million for a legal defense, and yet Karmelo Anthony's parents spent that money, and somehow the court approved Karmelo's request of a taxpayer-funded public defender. Where's the outrage from this very angry black community? Right? I don't think that I'm gonna do any sort of like showing any shit. This video is long, but I did want to show you. I got the Q minimalist sling. It attaches by paracord, and I took off the old Reptilia QD spring and put on a Reptilia. It's like just a little loop that you can with using the wire, like steel cable, and you can just attach a paracord right to it. Obviously, you can hear it's quiet. There's no there's no stuff jumping around. All the little thingy things are all plastic, and so it's lightweight. It's noise free. On this one, I just did a specific knot that won't pull through, and I made a loop on this side, and as you can see, I just ran it through that loop. This is a great little sort of system for attaching paracord to a rifle, but it just, and I sort of double this thing back through itself, right through this hole, but you can just use the single cord running through this cord, but I sort of use double to get double the strength out of it. So instead of 60,000 pounds, it holds 120,000 pounds. Point is, it's never coming off. Super lightweight, right? It's very stowable, and it's super quiet. And I like when you have QD mounts, they always, the non-pivot ones will keep it sort of from, it'll keep your sling from falling, just constant, falling where it needs to fall. I like that. I like being able to, no matter what I'm doing with it, it just sort of just falls where it needs to go, right? Just straight down, very, very, it's not rigid, and so that's that. All right, guys, you guys have been hanging in there long enough. Just I thought I'd give my 2 cents. I'm gonna put a lot of videos in there to support this the video. So that's it. Have a great day. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me, and peace.
Not saying Metcalf should have pushed Karmelo. That's the mentality. How dare you tell me what to do? It's why Anthony stayed in that tent after 15 requests to leave. Team tents hold wallets, electronics, equipment. Reasonable to not want strangers there. But a lot of black people adopted this toxic idea. We are not our ancestors. Implication: ancestors were submissive cowards who did what the white man said. So now, adhering to social norms, respect for authority, following direction, judging a defendant based on the evidence of the case, and if that evidence proves this brother is guilty of the alleged crime beyond a reasonable doubt, that feels like being an Uncle Tom, the house, N-word, a slave. So a simple request to leave, it feels like white supremacy, like dehumanization. Instead of leaving like any reasonable person, Anthony sat there defiantly to prove to Metcalf he was not a slave, not his weak and submissive ancestors. And by all accounts, Anthony came from a two-parent household, good area professional parents, and yet he still adopted that destructive mentality. This case revealed something disturbing. 1, an astonishing level of racial tribalism. 2, a gross perversion of self-defense. And 3, a complete rejection of accountability. And how dare you tell me what to do mindset that turns basic social requests into violent confrontations.